Well, all new here at 10 in Oconee County Church gets a scare after the sheriff's office says a man threatened to shoot it up with a fully loaded AR-15 rifle. 22-year-old Damon Johnson, who you see here, was arrested. He's charged with third-degree assault, giving false information and disturbing a place of worship. The church says Johnson tried to be a part of the youth group meeting of middle and high school students. Then he was told he was too old and had to leave. That's when things escalated.
Yeah, church security eventually removed Johnson, but not before they say he threatened those inside with an attack. Fox Carolina's Matt Koufax spoke with the church's lead pastor today, who says they're shaken but okay after this.
Yeah, Tori, Cody, the good news here is that no one was hurt. However, they are shaken, as you said, and police did end up conducting a sweep search of the area around the church and of Johnson's home. They did not find the weapon that he spoke of, but he is back out on bond on the street tonight. And church leaders I spoke to say it's not an exaggeration to say that places of worship are targets now in 2019, causing them to take extra protective measures in the cases of events like this. It started as a normal youth service Wednesday.
We have people who are personnel, security personnel here who asked him a few questions, found out that he was too old.
22-year-old Damon Johnson was immediately asked to leave the group of teens once staff at Foothills Church found out his age.
An individual just showing up randomly wanting to do that absolutely shows red flags.
It was then Pastor Greg Orham says things got out of hand and Johnson threatened to shoot people with a, quote, fully loaded AR-15. Thankfully, one of their staff was a captain at the Oconee County Sheriff's Office and deputies were called.
They, of course, responded in a way that was heightened security because of that threat.
Orham says things could have easily gone south, but deputies say no weapon was ever found and Johnson was arrested.
These days, unfortunately, we live in a time that there has been some of these things actually carried out.
In light of shootings in places like Pittsburgh, California, and Charleston, Orham says it's something they unfortunately always have to think about.
We do have an awareness of it. We don't live in a fear of it or knee-jerk reaction to it.
The church employs around a dozen licensed security officers any given Sunday.
We don't brush it off and assume it'll never happen because, as you said, the people who assume it never happens are totally surprised when it does.
Orham also says with their services drawing in crowds of around 2,000, they have to take extra care.
With that comes a lot of responsibility.
Even as performers rehearsed for Sunday service, Orham was making sure all doors were locked. The sheriff's office says Johnson bonded out of jail, something Orham says they know but feels like they're prepared for.
We have already given our security teams the profile of the individual. He has a trespass notice placed against him.
He says oftentimes churches may try and be too accepting, but he encourages all his fellow religious leaders to never compromise security first in 2019. And Orham points out that they don't know what Johnson's intentions were. Police haven't given any indication as to what he might have been thinking about doing either, but he says they'd rather be safe than sorry in this case. In Seneca tonight, Matt Koufax, Fox Carolina News Tonight.